Hello, welcome to Hit the Button Live. Except it's not really live at all. It's actually entirely pre-recorded and not even streamed. Welcome back to the second video in the 7-part video series. Yeah, sure. Today we're gonna be covering Mixer. Yay! I'm so tired. Seriously, I don't know how YouTubers do this. So just a quick note, I'm probably gonna end up redoing the first video, the Twitch one, mainly because I just feel like it was really rushed and I didn't do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do with it. And like, yes, it's not perfect and it's better to be done than perfect, but it's not like even done to the point where I'm comfortable with it. So I'm probably gonna redo that at the end. There's a lot of things that are inaccurate or just incomplete, so I'm probably gonna redo that. I think it's still got a lot of the information that you would need covered to give you a good idea of what it is like to stream on Twitch and what kind of features that they have. But anyway, let's talk about Mixer. Alright, so first thing I want to cover, what is Mixer? So Mixer is a Microsoft-owned streaming platform that is focused on three things: games, live streaming, and interactivity. And they're really pushing for the interactivity.
Can you get... No! What are you doing? Get out of there!
She was like climbing underneath my desk from the top. Like, what are you doing? My cat has found a new favorite spot in my keyboard tray, standing on top of my computer, squeezing her way through my keyboard tray. So Mixer's goal with this platform is to basically try to bring the streamer and the viewer as close together as possible. Now, being Microsoft owned, they of course have direct support to Xbox One, including a bit of software called Lightstream, which basically allows you to make overlays for your Xbox One stream. So you can stream directly from Xbox One, but still have some overlays as if you had a capture card and were using a PC-based streaming platform like OBS. Mixer also has their own mobile app for streaming on the go called Mixer Create. And as for offline content, they really haven't delved deep into this yet. They're really focused on the live streaming part of the platform. So the only things that you can do for offline content native to the platform are storing your past broadcasts. For partners, you can do that for up to 90 days, for non-partners 14. And you can also make clips if you're a partner, or if you're featured on Hype Zone, which we'll get into later. The clips stick around for 14 days. And this is an experimental thing. They're probably going to roll that out to more people fairly soon. Alright, so first order of business, I'm going to go over basically how to set up your account. Now, even if you stream to Mixer, I would encourage you watch, because like what happened with me in the Twitch video, there was a lot of features in there that I didn't even know about, even though I'd been streaming on the platform for a while. So who knows? Maybe there's something that you missed. Okay, so first thing that you're going to do is log into mixer.com and go to the Setup with Microsoft account. Now, you can set up your account without a Microsoft account, but honestly, it's just easier to do it this way. From there, if you go into your dashboard, you can click on the Customize section and start putting in a little bit more information about yourself. You can change your channel avatar. A really interesting feature that they have is that your channel avatar will actually show up in chat. #branding. You can modify your channel intro and your social thumbnail. These are what will show up when you share your stream to one of your socials. Speaking of socials, you can add a number of social profiles, which when you add them will actually appear on your homepage as little clickable buttons, which is really nice. You can change your channel description, and you can add pretty much whatever you want in this. And it acts a lot like a Word document. You can do everything but change font styles. You can type as much as you want. You can add pictures if you want in there. And finally, you can change your background and offline image. Those, again, will also appear on your homepage. And if you want to change any of your personal information, you can go over to your hotbar and click on Accounts, and you'll be brought into your settings. You can change what Microsoft account you're linked to. You can change your password, email, username. You can enable two-factor authentication. You can change which apps have access to your Mixer information, and you can change how you're notified about the people that you're following. So a lot of that you don't even need if you just wanted to watch Mixer, but if you're here to start streaming, there's a little bit more setup that you want to get into. So back in your broadcast customization, the first thing that you're going to want to do is get your stream key. And what's nice is, additionally to your stream key, Mixer will also give you recommended settings for different resolutions and frame rates, as well as setup instructions and recommended servers. So after you've got your stream key loaded up into your streaming platform, you are going to want to set up for your first stream. You got your stream title here, you got the game, and you have your audience. Other than that, you can change the chat messages that you get from alerts, so let's say follows and subscriptions and hosting. I also mentioned that they have a thing called Lightstream, which will add overlays to your Xbox One stream. Once the setup is done on a PC, you don't have to worry about running it through your Xbox One, it does it automatically. But the important thing about Lightstream is that it is only available for pro accounts, which you have to pay for, which is, I think, $8 a month. And then, of course, there are other settings available for the Mixer Create mobile app. They actually have more recommended bitrate and settings like that, so I would go check that out if mobile streaming is what you're interested in. Alright, and then one more thing you're going to want to set up. I know there's a lot of setup: chat setting. Now, some of these settings can apply to your channel, some of them apply to others. They're going to be found in the bottom right of your chat bar. So in your chat settings, you can change things like chroma key, which makes your chat look more clean if you wanted to put it into your stream. You can also stripe your message backgrounds, which basically adds a color code to each message that you receive in chat, so you can separate them. You can allow chat whispers, enable lurk mode, which lurk mode basically just keeps your name hidden until you decide to talk in chat. You can mess around with your desktop notifications. For your own channel preferences, you can slow down the chat, which will put a delay between messages from the same user. You can choose whether or not you want to allow links in chat or make them clickable. You can enable move chat on host, which when you host someone in Mixer at any given time, the viewers watching your channel can switch between the chat in your channel and the person that you hosted. This basically just forces them initially to move to the hosted channel's chat. And now getting into CatBot. So your CatBot settings you're going to find if you go to your customized broadcast section and you click here. So this will allow you to change around some of the settings in Mixer's native auto mod. Some of the settings you can mess with are changing the rank that your viewers must be in order to say things in chat. This might be a good way to just weed out bots. And you can go into how strict you want your CatBot to be when you're having it automatically detect harmful chat. You can either go by user level or just set a universal intensity shown here. And then one more thing that you're going to want to look at is the chat commands. Now, some of those can be used in any channel, and most of them can only be used in your channel or by your mods. So how you're going to find this is you're going to go here to knowledge base. You're going to type in the search bar chat commands and pick the top result. So this is going to give you a list of all the chat commands that you can do in someone else's channel or that you would be able to do in your own channel. So now we can really get into the meat of the platform, which is what the experience is all about. A good way to visualize what Mixer has to offer is to go to the stream section and click on the filters. So it's really cool that they actually allow you to filter by a lot of their most powerful features. One thing that you'll notice in here is mixplay. Now, I've seen a lot of different capabilities with mixplay. Some streamers are able to work mixplay straight into their game. For example, if you're playing Minecraft with mixplay, you can allow your users to spend sparks in order to spawn some pigs, or decide they want to delete that section of ground around you. You can share your controller, you can add in mixplay for different chat commands, or playing sound bites. There's really a lot of flexibility in that, and honestly, mixplay deserves a video of its own, which I'm not going to make because I am tired and I want to move on. One of the other big selling points for Mixer is their FTL settings. So FTL stands for faster than light. It's carryover from when Mixer used to be called Beam. The concept is still the same. FTL is sub-second latency with your chat. So basically the difference is this version of sending out the data doesn't require a response back that says, hey, I received the data. It just goes straight from your computer to whatever platform your viewer is viewing on. So if you're chatting with someone who has FTL enabled, they should get your messages almost instantly. Another really nice feature that Mixer has is a native co-streaming setting. So this will allow you to have a single viewing experience on your channel with up to 4 streamers, including yourself. Streaming with that enabled plus FTL would honestly be kind of remarkable. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like, but I don't really have anyone else on Mixer that I would stream with, so you'll have to test that out for me. The other two really big features, and this is mostly centered around discoverability, are Channel 1 and Hype Zone. So what Channel 1 is basically a constantly rotating 15 minutes of fame. Channel 1 rotates around between different Mixer partners, and for 15 minutes each will basically share Channel 1's viewers with your channel. It just goes around and hosts a bunch of different partners. The incentive for watching Channel 1 is you get more of the channel-wide free currency called Sparks. The Hype Zone is a similar concept but works a little bit differently. It is not focused only on partners. It is instead focused on people who are close to the end of their multiplayer game, mostly Battle Royale. Hype Zone is limited to PlayerUnknown's Battleground, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty 4, and Apex. And basically how it works is it has an optical detection system which will spot the certain part of your screen that basically says how close you are to the end, and if it determines that, like, there's 10 teams left in a Fortnite match, it will feature and put in front of everyone who's watching Hype Zone. Additionally, it will also take a clip of your best moment automatically, and will save that clip for 14 days, which you can also download later and share with your friends. I think between all these features, Mixer is doing a really good job at pushing that interactivity between the streamer and the viewer, and it also does really good at bringing people a new audience. Alright, so let's talk about Mixer's network capability. As I said before, their bitrate caps out around 7,000, and they do have a recommended bitrate shown on the stream setup section. One of their biggest features as far as network capability goes is FTL with their sub-second latency. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, mobile users will have kind of an issue with it as far as viewing. But if you just turn off FTL when you're viewing someone through mobile, you should be fine. If you still have a lot of a stream delay, if you're still buffering, they also have an audio-only mode, so that'll at least allow you to interact with the streamer if you're not able to interact with the game. And then one of the big things that I wanted to go over are transcoding. So it took a while to nail down exactly who on the platform gets transcoding options. Transcoding, again, is the ability to take your really high quality stream and reduce the resolution or frame rate a little bit so that other people with not as good internet can still watch. So I managed to nail down that the only people who actually have transcoding options are partnered streamers or verified users. So basically everyone with this little check mark here. Also, while I was looking for verified users, I noticed this little badge right here, which denotes that someone was around before Beam turned into Mixer, which is neat. But that being said, there's not really a lot to go over with the network capability. Because Mixer is a smaller platform, they're a little bit more lenient with what kind of data you can put out there and how much it requires. So comparing to something like Twitch, there is a little bit more flexibility. Okay, so now let's get into one of the biggest parts of this, which is community interaction. So pretty standard, you have your chat. You do not have a method of being able to direct message other people, with the exception of doing it within chat itself. You have whispers in there. You can host other channels, and as I said before, when you host another channel, not only does it put their video on your channel, but it also puts their chat on your channel, and the viewers have the choice between switching between your chat and the other chat. You can also go here and create a poll anytime you want. You can add in multiple selections. This poll can be used for literally asking your chat any type of question that you want. Even if it's not a real question, you can type in whatever you want in here. It really has the potential to be abused. So you also have your skills and emotes. Once you reach partner, you can have skills in here, which are basically just cool little images or GIFs that you can play on stream by paying some kind of premium, whether it's in Sparks or Embers. Once you hit partner, you can start earning Embers by putting skills on there that cost Embers in order to use. You also have things called stickers and effects. I don't really know what the difference is between all these, but I mean, maybe there's something, I don't know. So one thing that I'll say is really nice is the emotes that you get when you come into someone's channel. All of their emotes are something that you can use within their channel. So they're not restricted behind a paywall unless you want to use their emotes in someone else's channel. At that point, you would need to subscribe to that user. You can find all of your community summarized pretty nicely in the Your Network tab if you click on your hotbar. You can find all of your followed channels and if they're streaming or not, your followers. And you can also find a thing called teams. So what teams are basically they allow you to associate yourself with another group of streamers. And you can either apply for these or you can be invited to them or you can create one. You can only have a maximum of 3 teams in there, but it will allow you to associate your brand with a sponsor or just a group of streamers, or I see a lot of people with the Mixer Partner team on there. When you join a team, you're going to see it in the bottom left corner of that streamer's info panel underneath their socials, and then when you click on that team, you're just going to be taken to the list of other streamers that are involved with them and short thumbnails of anyone that's currently live. It's a really easy and intuitive way to share your community with the people that you want to be associated with. One of the ways that you're rewarded for all this interactivity is your channel progression. So when you go into a channel, you are level 1, and the more you interact with that streamer, the higher levels you get, and basically what I think levels are best used for are basically telling when someone is a really dedicated viewer in your channel. I think the levels go up to 99. You can gain levels by doing things like using sparks in chat, using embers, just chatting, just viewing, following, subscribing, gifting subscribers. There's a lot of different ways to get ahead, and a lot of them don't cost you anything.
Because it does shock them. Sporty Steve for the 20-month resub!
So of course Mixer has found a way to incorporate your streamer interactivity with monetization in order to encourage people to support you. So the first thing that I want to note about this is within the week that I started putting this video together, Mixer actually released a blog that was stating that they are trying to bring monetization options to every streamer available, not just partners. They're going to be starting with embers, and they're going to be moving on to channel subscriptions and whatever other monetization options they allow in the future. Another thing worth mentioning is recently there was an event where you could use sparks, which are the unpaid channel-wide currency. You could use those on a streamer in order to directly compensate them. Once a streamer hit certain thresholds, they were actually able to receive some kind of payout all the way up to $1,500. That system is currently not in place, but it's worth mentioning because it's something that they brought into the platform that allowed viewers to directly support the streamer of their choice without actually putting in any of their own money. So currently you have 2 site-wide currencies, one of them being Sparks, the other one being Embers. Sparks are unpaid and Embers are paid. Getting Embers is pretty simple. You just go up here to get Embers and you put in your credit card information and how much you want to get out of it. And when you're using Embers on a streamer, what they receive is basically a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 Ember equals 1 penny. The other currency that you're going to be using is Sparks, and basically the only thing that you have to do in order to earn Sparks is watch streamers. So you can get more by doing certain things. Normally you'll get 50 sparks per minute. If you're viewing channel 1, you get a 25 spark bonus. If you are watching someone that you're subscribed to, you get a 200 spark bonus. And if you're watching while you're a Mixer Pro member, you get an additional 50 sparks per minute. So if you add all this up, if you are a Mixer Pro member, if you are subscribed to a channel, you can get up to 300 sparks per minute. And if you happen to be watching this channel while they're featured in channel 1, you'll also get an extra 20. So what do sparks do if they don't give the streamer a direct payout? So at this point, what your sparks will do when you use it on some kind of skill is it will give the streamer a little bit of a boost in how much they earn from embers. So the more sparks they earn, the more of a percentage they get from each ember they receive. I believe this caps out at 300 million sparks, which will give you a 25% ember bonus. The third way to monetize a streamer is by subscribing to them. So subscriptions on Mixer cost $6 and the streamer receives 50% of that. The other 50% goes to Mixer. And when you subscribe, again, you get a boost in how many sparks you earn. You will get a boost in your channel progression and level, and you'll also be able to use their emotes in other chats. I talked a little bit about Mixer Pro earlier. Mixer Pro is $8. You do get a few perks. You get more sparks, you get ad-free viewing, you get early access to new features, you also fund a lot of the new features that are coming out with Mixer, and I think you get a premium chat highlight, but mostly it's a way to directly fund Mixer to advance this project of theirs. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the connectivity of Mixer, what Mixer can reach out and touch. So one of the most obvious things that pop out are the social buttons. You can link your social accounts into Mixer, and it makes it really easy and intuitive for other people to use it and to share your content with the ether. The other more obvious feature is mixplay, which I regrettably have not gotten a chance to look into that much, but mixplay adds a lot to what you can do to not only interact with the streamer but also interact with the game. So it allows, in a lot of cases, chat to play the game. But one of the lesser known connectables is a program that Mixer is running with high-res games. So if you're playing Paladins or Smite on Mixer, you actually get a thing in Microsoft Store called Mixer Points. Those Mixer points can be spent on skins within those games, exclusive skins. I think that's the only one that they're running right now, but in the past they have allowed you to get Mixer loot, and I'm sure they're going to be trying to add on more games and more studios that they're working in direct contact with. As far as the things that can reach out and touch Mixer, you have Better Mixer, which is a Google Chrome extension that will basically act as BTTV. You also have the standard Streamlabs to adjust your overlay experience. They've recently added on alert boxes for skills, for receiving sparks and embers. Streamlabs is investing a lot more into Mixer at this point. Alright, so let's get into your moderation and the things that keep your channel and Mixer running. So obviously you can assign mods, you can also assign editors to change your current online content as well as mess around with your clips and rename your past broadcasts. There are also global mods, which usually the only thing that they're allowed to do in your channel is change stuff around if they feel like some of your settings are not really appropriate. They can also remove viewers themselves who are acting outside of Mixer's TOS, but for the most part their main focus is going to be on those Mixer specific and Mixer run channels, things like Channel 1 and things like Hype Zone. You can of course change your audience settings to be a little bit more mature or family friendly depending on what kind of content you're putting out. You have Catbot, which is Mixer's auto mod, and you can make various settings around that depending on how intense you want auto mod to censor people. You have a slow mode in case chat gets a little bit too rowdy. This is all relatively standard stuff. One thing that I do want to highlight though is Mixer's support staff is remarkably quick. So as you know, I've been on Twitch for about a year, and Twitch's support has been notoriously slow. Now part of the reason for that is Twitch has literally over 200 times as many streamers as Mixer does, so they have a lot more people to deal with, but still the difference in the speed of the response that I was getting is night and day. I contacted Mixer support this week regarding something that I was wondering specifically for this video. They responded to me the next day. I responded back and they responded to me the same day. It took me 3 months to get a response from Twitch's support staff. Again, not because Twitch's support staff is garbage. I'm sure they're just doing the best they can, but they simply don't have enough people to answer all the influx of questions that they must get. Alright, so now let's finally talk about the big thing that everyone is attracted to when it comes to Mixer, and that is the huge increase in discoverability. Now, when I'm talking discoverability, I'm not going to be getting into the numbers. I'm talking about the features that are available to help you, someone who's just starting out, or maybe if you've been on there for a while, to help you attract a bigger audience and help you get noticed. So of course on your homepage you have your featured channels section, but something else that you have is the up and coming section. So this is a fairly large section that you can browse, but it does feature a lot of people with a wide range of average viewers, going up to I think 40 and as low as 0. That's right, even if you have 0 viewers you can be featured on the front page. That's huge. You also, of course, have the Hype Zone, so if you're playing one of those more popular games like a Battle Royale or like Rainbow Six Siege, You can get noticed a little bit easier by having Mixer's algorithm come and find you when you're near the end of your game. You also, of course, have channelone, which will allow you to be featured once in a while, get your name out there. If you get to know someone else on the platform, you can also share your viewers by enabling a co-stream. And one of the final ways you can really dive deep and help out your discoverability is if you know HTML, you can actually go into your channel and adjust the tags to help your stream get noticed on a search engine. I don't really know a whole lot about that. Again, if you want to find out more information about that, go into the more section, click knowledge based, and search for HTML. So honestly, Mixer's analytics seem to be a little bit weak. Don't get me wrong, they still have plenty of good data. It's just not as much as I've seen. Again, I'm coming from Twitch, so that's probably not a good comparison. But mostly what they show is the number of followers that you've had within a given time frame. You can also check the amount of viewers. You can check how many sparks you've gotten or embers. A couple of the more in-depth parts that you can look at is what platform your viewers are actually watching from and what countries they're from. So if you do want to learn more about Mixer or about streaming in general, I highly recommend you go into that More tab and check out Knowledge Base. One of the things that they have in there is called Mixer Academy, and you can just type that into any search engine and try to find it that way. But Mixer Academy is something that Mixer is set up to help you just become an overall more well-rounded, better streamer. And it's not just things like setting up your stream, it's things like developing the skills that you need to be an entertainer. It's developing your social media presence. And something that really stood out to me was their sections on networking and working with sponsors. That's not something that I've seen. That kind of advice I feel like is sorely needed. So even if you don't want to go to Mixer for any other reason, I would advise checking this out just to give yourself a little bit of information about what it's like to be a streamer as a business. But that's all I have for you today. There's a lot more information that I didn't get a chance to cover in this video. So if you're really interested in Mixer and you want to know more, I would just go onto the platform, check it out yourself, try it. I've heard really good reviews for a lot of the people who have moved over to Mixer lately because of the big push from Ninja. So once again, if you think I missed anything in this video or you think you have something to add for some of the other platforms that I haven't covered yet, let me know in the comments and I'll try to work those in. Trust me, you're probably going to be giving me information that I did not know about. I think next week I'm going to try to cover YouTube gaming. So if you have any information on that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know what stood out to you most about Mixer as a platform. Let me know if you have a favorite platform that you like to stream from and why. And if you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, leave it a like, share it with your friends, help it help someone else. Bye forever!